Are there any constituency statements by honourable members? I call the honourable member for Indi.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. My topic today is education, agriculture and the deregulation of university fees. And I want to use the example I know best, Australian agricultural research and development. We have a documented shortage of professional tertiary educated agriculturalists in Australia, and demand for these people far outstrips supply. And coupled with this excess demand, we have an ageing research workforce, an industry-wide inability to build a pipeline of graduates into postgraduate study and early career positions. And, Mr Deputy Speaker, proposed budget changes will accentuate what is already a major national issue. We don't have enough graduates now, and how will increasing the cost of these courses give us more? Clearly, agriculture is important to the Australian economy. Between March 2013 and 14, agriculture had a gross value of $30,263 million. And the government's plan is that agriculture will grow in exports, in employment, in manufacturing, in business, in production. And tertiary education is essential to that growth. The irony is, demand exists for agricultural graduates. We have the jobs. The Australian Council of Deans of Agriculture report demand for more than 4,000 jobs in agriculture last year, matched by only 800 actual graduates. The Weekly Times reports, however, that it will be cheaper for students to undertake this tertiary study in New Zealand, Canada and the US with the proposed changes. Melbourne University estimates that 3 years of its agricultural degree, while staying on campus, at between $97,000 and $112,000 with the changes, while at Lincoln University in New Zealand, exactly the same course will only cost $60,000. So sadly, it's not just the cost of an undergraduate degree that will be affected by these changes and the brain drain that will result. Even more importantly, from my perspective, are the long-term impacts on the future of agricultural research and development. The problem is that our postgraduate students don't get paid enough, they don't stay in the industry long enough, and they get poached by overseas to go and work with multinational companies, and we can't hold them. So with the 100% increase in fees that we're proposing with this legislation, they're just not going to stay. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, I understand the assumption behind the changes, that competition and markets will deliver a better result. However, I don't believe that in this case. We already have market failure. So, in closing, Mr Deputy Speaker, I call on the government, and particularly on my National Party colleagues opposite, would you please meet with the Australian Council of Deans of Agriculture, take their advice and make the appropriate amendments to this legislation?